Okay. Oh. It's hot out here. Okay, yeah, I wanted to come on here today. I didn't want to do it last night because it was late by the time I got home. I'm gonna wait till a few people come on. What's up, Jeff? Let me see, I'm gonna come down here. Come down here and set my camera up right here. Yeah, I could do that. Lean on the car. Dude, I've been doing good. I've not been doing too bad. Thanks, bud. Thanks. Yeah, we've actually sold a couple of them. What's up, Chaz? How you doing? So uh-oh. Excuse me. If you're in here, let me know. Let's see. Now we're gonna go ahead and... Alright, so as you all know, I'm out here on the East Coast, out here in Rhode Island, and we're out here visiting family. Holly's family's out here, so we're out here visiting family. But when we decided to come out here, I decided to lay out a road trip basically for me to visit some East Coast Airsoft fields. Yesterday, I was going to go today, but then when I called around yesterday, I found out that Extreme Airsoft was open on Fridays and they were expecting a big crowd, or a decent sized crowd, so especially with the pandemic going on. So I decided to go ahead and take off, head down that way. It's about an hour, I guess, southeast of where I'm at right now in Pawtucket, a little under an hour. It's all the way to the other end of where I'm at. So went down there, took my gear, and went down there. Got there, went in, and introduced myself. I made a phone call before I headed that way, let them know that I was on my way down there, who I was, and that I own Mission 12 here in Bedford, or there in Bedford, Indiana. And so I got down there, and when I went in and introduced myself, the staff was phenomenal. And it's the reason why I'm touching on that first, is because without a good staff that's going to treat your customer base and your community like family and open their arms without even knowing who they are, then your field ain't going to go nowhere regardless. And it's about the community, and your staff has to treat the community as in they're number one. I've always been a big advocate for what's up, Rob? I've always been a big advocate for field owners have an obligation to the players to offer the best possible experience they can, and if we don't, as field owners, do that, then as field owners we are failing, because without the players and the community, our fields are nothing. So anyway, I got down there. They opened up their arms. They rolled out the red carpet for me, pretty much. Gave me a tour of the field. Opened up some of the doors to me that I guess they probably wouldn't open up to the general public. just because I was a field owner. We talked shop, we talked about guns, we talked about equipment. I learned something that, we've got an indoor field that's opening up in Jasper, but right now, currently, we don't have an indoor field. And I learned something new, at least here, with an indoor field, they're not allowed to use biodegradable BBs. And that was different for me because as an outdoor field owner, we endorse biodegradable BBs from Elite Force. And there you go, that's your plug. Anyway, so they explained to me that the reason why they can't use them is for insurance purposes and everything like that. They break down easier, so therefore they ricochet and all that. They can't use them. They can't use low-grade BBs as well, just because, they got to make sure that they don't shatter and stuff like that. So anyways, off the top of my head, the phenomenal staff, awesome. I'm looking them all up on Facebook. I'm trying to I'm sending out friends requests on Facebook. That way I can tag them and stuff, everything like that. We all had masks on because in the staging area and in the store area we had to have masks on. So I got a picture of all of us, and but with our masks on, you can't really tell who everybody is. So unless you're in the picture or and you were there. So anyway, next the retail location, the retail storefront was amazing. It was like walking into an actual gun shop. Guns on the walls. You had counters, display cases filled with stuff. It was I think their retail was like two huge rooms. You walked into one and it was guns, suppressors, stuff like that, optics. You walk back into the other one and you got like vests, gloves, glasses, goggles, stuff like that. Phenomenal retail location. To be honest with you, it gives me something to strive for when I get back to Indiana when it comes to setting up our retail location for Mission 12, what I would like to get to. I know it takes time to get there, but it was phenomenal. I was impressed. I got to handle a few of the guns and the airsoft guns, and so it was awesome. Next up was the community. The airsoft community that they had in there was all friendly. As soon as everybody found out where I was from and that I owned Mission 12, everybody came up, introduced themselves. I got to meet some great people. I met a dad. I sent him a friend request. He had his two boys out there. He said they come out and they play every Friday. It's their bonding time for father-son time. Amazing, awesome people. The staff, the customer base and the community base was just as good as the staff. They were helpful. Everybody was knowledgeable about airsoft. Everybody was just, it was top-notch community out here in the East Coast, top-notch staff at Extreme Airsoft. I'm not used to playing indoor. To be honest with you, I've never played indoor, so it was a lot different. The gameplay and the field was phenomenal. I literally found them on YouTube. Somebody had done a field review of them on YouTube, and since I have family out here, I asked the family that I had out here if they knew about them and everything like that, and they did, and they told me, hey, they're down here, they're over here. So I reached out to them and everything like that. The field, man, I can't say anything better about the field than it was put together very well. The field, each building had its own character, background, had its own story behind it. They had a lot of buildings in the arena that was dedicated to individuals that had done stuff for the field. They had a fire station just because a lot of the people that helped build the field were firefighters, first responders. So they had a building that was a fire station that was dedicated to first responders. They had buildings that were dedicated to family members of the owners of the staff. It was amazing. It was amazing. They had buildings they had a power plant that actually had switches that you could throw that would light up stuff and everything like that. I did not do a walkthrough of the field with the camera. I didn't think about it at the time. If I go back down there while I'm here this week, I may see if I can go in and do a walkthrough and actually, get some footage of the field. I'm getting, got to get my GoPro set up and everything like that, and get my my scope cam and everything for my gun. But the field was, for never playing indoors, it was impressive. And even if I'd ever played indoors, the field itself was impressive. The buildings were impressive. The layout was impressive. It gave for some awesome gameplay. If you know me and if you played with me, I'm all about close quarter battles. I love the concept of breaching clear, and that's what I like to do. That's what I got into airsoft, and that's my style of gameplay. I've played with guys that play like that. I've played with guys that play the long shot. I've played with guys that run and gun. I've played with guys that have the speed self mindset. But indoors, man, it was a different concept for me, which is what I liked. I liked it, and it's what I would strive for if I have an indoor arena. If I was to ever open up an indoor arena, that's what I would strive for, is that concept that they had. It was literally breach and clear type concept. You would go in, clear a room, you would come around a corner, and you would clear that corner, and then you would let the guys behind you or the girls behind you know, hey, we're clear, and you would advance. Very tactical gameplay. To be honest, more tactical than I've ever played. But typically I play outdoors, so it's kind of hard to play tactical gameplay outdoors. If you have a team format and you're all on your comms and everything like that, you can kind of strategize and kind of play tactical. But this literally was, I had to depend on the guy behind me or the guy in front of me to make sure that the room was clear as I come into the room. The guy behind me was dependent on me, and as I'm coming up to come around a corner, I get a tap on my leg that says, hey, I'm going low, and the guy would go low, and we'd have both areas covered. You had tactical running with the gun, have them sideways going into clear rooms, stuff like that. I did learn that indoors it's better to play with tracer units, because once the lights kind of went dim, it was harder for me to call my shot or call my shots and see where I was actually hitting, because I didn't have tracer units, and I was playing with a lot of guys that had tracer units. So definitely it's something that I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of upgrade my hop up and everything like that for Max Pro. But it was definitely, it was suggested to me by one of the guys, hey, when you're doing indoors like this, you probably need to get a tracer unit and everything like that. That way you can see where you're hit, you can see where you're shooting, which definitely is something to look into, especially if I'm going to play indoors. The other thing was, like I said, the gameplay. But the biggest thing that was a different concept for me was the ricochets. Like, when the bell hits, when the buzzer starts and the game starts, and we go out in there, and you got the arena was a U. So on one side of the arena you had bands. On the other side of the arena you had non-bands, which I was a non-band, and we would flip every game. We would flip sides. Well, when the buzzer hit, everybody would take off running, post up, and take position and everything like that. But then once we engaged, man, the ricochets, I mean, you felt like the adrenaline kicked in. It was there. Everything was there. You had that whole wow factor, and it's something that you don't get in outdoor field, in my opinion. You don't get that whole, wow, we're pinned down. I hear it's just pelting off of the boards, off the walls, off the cars, It was just pelting. And so it was a different concept for me, because you had to kind of figure out, okay, am I getting hit by ricochets or am I getting hit by actual hits, So it was a different concept for me all the way around, and it was one of those that, I enjoyed it. To be honest with you, having an outdoor field, playing indoors, I honestly preferred it, and it's mainly because of my style of gameplay. I like playing breach and clear. I like going in, clearing rooms, and having a team format to where you go in as a squad, you go in as a team, and you got your point guy, you got your second guy, you got, the last guy clears the room. When the first guy comes in, he clears the room. Typically, he's the last guy out of the room. That's just kind of the way. That's kind of the way I like to play. So it was definitely a neat experience for me, especially, like I said, a different concept of play. The gameplay itself was awesome. We played like a couple different. We played Pilot Down, Capture the Flag, Team Deathmatch. I think there was another one that we played. But yeah, it was insane. It was, for never playing indoors, it was definitely a new experience, and definitely an experience that I'd love to do over again. I think that's pretty much it. The time slot that they had was a really good time slot. I know, like, tonight they're doing adult night from like 8:30 to 11:30. The other thing that was different for me was the safety and the bang kill. It was different because on an outdoor field in Indiana, we don't actually, we try to observe it when we have a lot of rentals on the field, but when you're playing outdoors, you don't have a whole lot of situations where you come into needing safety kill or bang kill. But when you're playing indoors, that situation presents itself a lot. There was one scenario that we were in there, and you had 4 of us. We come through a room, and from the other side of the field, you come in that same building. You come around a corner, and you're post up right there. The opposite team comes around, and you got the opposite team right here. Well, when you got one person coming around that corner, and you got 4 people posted up from the opposite team, they call safety. I was one of the guys there, and they were all saying, just say safety. When they come around the corner, say safety. And I'm like, okay, okay, whatever. I was expecting to get lit up. And when they come around the corner, all you hear is like 4 guys, safety. And we got our guns pointed at the player coming around the corner, and it's like, boom. But then, there's some scenarios, some situations where you're going to get hit. You're going to come around there, and it's just instinct's going to take over, and you're going to get, pelted with some BBs, which happened a couple times with me. But it was, you come around that corner, one person, and you got 4 people standing right there in front of you. They light you up, man. It's going to hurt. So I understand the concept of the safety. I think they do like a 6 foot to 8 foot, distance when it comes to engagement. So it was definitely, that was a different experience for me, because I'm not used to doing that. Especially with, you've got a coordinated team, and it didn't matter who I played with, who I partnered up with in each game. Everybody I partnered up with had a team tactical mindset, which was really cool. I played with a guy that had a SCAR that was like a DMR, and I don't know if it was his wife or who, I think it was his wife, but I played with them, or his girlfriend. I played with them, and he was real tactical about it, and it was really neat. And then I played with a couple other guys on on the same team, but just 2 or 3 different people, and everybody had the same tactical concept and mindset. And it was just because, there's 2 outdoor fields here in Rhode Island, and I was suggested to go to both of them. I may try to hit, Extreme again this weekend before we head out, because I want to play some more indoor, which is definitely something, that I don't get to do at home. But yeah, the game style with everybody was the same mindset. Everybody was all in that tactical mindset. I collected a couple patches while I was there. A couple guys gave me patches, and it was just cool. It was just all around cool. So as far as a review, I give them 5 stars. As far as what I'm basing it off of, definitely go there if you're in the East Coast area, if you're in the Rhode Island area, Massachusetts, Connecticut, close by. Definitely go and check them out. If you're not from the area but you have a chance to visit up here and you play Airsoft, definitely go check them out. The staff was phenomenal. The community base around the arena and around the area, phenomenal. And I'm not just going to say the community base at Extreme Airsoft, because it's a community base in the East Coast area. Everybody was phenomenal. The storefront was amazing and awesome. The arena was it didn't let me down. You know, it was more, honestly, than I expected it to be. And the gameplay itself was nonstop strategic. It's just there's no way else to say it. It was nonstop strategic, tactical, good gameplay. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter if you had a Yahoo, a little man that was this tall, or if you had an adult. It was tactical gameplay. You know, I got lit up from the back. I got lit up from the sides. Holly made comment on my shoulders, like I got lit up here. You know, poking around a corner. You know, I got hit in the in my eye gear, everything like that. I mean, it was good. Everybody was on point. Can't complain. Definitely possibly, you know, looking to go out there again before we head home. I got to stop by a couple other fields out here before I head out, and then on the way home, we're going to swing by Delaware, swing in at 9/11 Airsoft, meet Dave Bosco, get a chance. There's no way I'm going to be out here on the East Coast and not visit 9/11 Airsoft. It ain't going to happen. I'm definitely hitting that one on the way home, which will be next Friday. We're going to leave out Friday, probably stay the night in Delaware, and then hit the gameplay Saturday, meet Dave, take some pictures, check out the field, and then head back to Indiana, be back by Sunday. But that's it, man. That's my review. That's my my assessment last night of the gameplay. As a matter of fact, a couple guys like, hey, if you come back, have them give us a call. If we're not here, have them give us a call, and we'll come out and play. So it was really nice. It was really cool. The guys opened up everything. The girl that was there at register, she was awesome. Go check them out, guys. Go check them out. This is the first time I've ever done a field review. You know, well, technically I've done one technically with HTK. I went there and played. I didn't do an actual video review of HTK. People have asked me about it, and I gave them my opinion on it. Definitely. Then since I started playing at HTK, they've actually built a bigger field. I haven't had a chance to play on it yet, but when I get back to Indiana, hopefully I can get out there, sling some BBs with them guys again, get my schedule back on track to where I can get to playing. When I get back, I'm going to start working on the 40 acres that we're going to have in Paoli, Indiana. Start working on that, getting things set up with that, getting it cleared off, and hope, you know, get us back up and going with Mission 12 and getting people back out on the field and stuff like that. So with that, guys, I am out. As always, thank you guys for your love and support. Without you, Mission 12 wouldn't be anything. Without you as the community, there's no field in the United States that would be anything without the community, and the community needs the field to play. So it's a circle. We all support each other. Field owners, you know, again, as I've always said in every video, we have an obligation as a field owner to provide the best possible experience to the players that we can, and if we're not doing that, then we are letting the community down in a whole. So with that being said, guys, peace out. I love you guys. Stay tuned.